Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling coherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And he continue with Disco Elysium, Blind. Now, I am going to check out Cuno's hideout, because I didn't do that last time, and maybe there is something related to... It's crawling with locusts in here. Yeah, related to the phasmid.
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows. Like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand rising. Accommodations for their insectoid inhabitants.
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case.
The lieutenant looks around, writes something in his notebook, and turns to you.
Of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well.
Yes, precisely what I was thinking.
Yes. I feel we are nearing a real breakthrough.
We should talk to Cuno about this, get him to stop.
I'll let you handle the Cuno side of things. You are doing just fine.
Does Cuno care?
I know you took the locusts from the traps the cryptozoologist set up.
Yeah. Cuno took the bugs. So what?
So it wasn't the phasmid. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
You say you don't give a fuck about bugs, and then you go and build a whole bug town.
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends. Stop!
She wails from behind the fence, then buries her face in her hands.
Locusts coming down like a shadow. This must be the night city he mentioned when you asked him where he's been.
So that there is Night City?
Yeah, Locust City. City of rage. City of lights.
There's a tug of war over the name of his fantastical city. It's almost too big for his imagination. The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort.
What are you, some kind of an artist now?
Maybe I am.
He says, looking you straight in the eye.
Did he just say I? Cuno usually calls Cuno, Cuno.
Hold on, did I hear you right? You said I.
Cuno made Cuno. Cuno says whatever the fuck he wants. There are no rules here, pig. I fucking say I when I wanna, and Cuno when I wanna. Cuno's free. Cuno's free to fucking die, bitch.
This is what he sometimes does when things get tense.
Yeah, making art is a worthy calling. I'm sorry, something of an artist myself. To be honest, that's a much better hobby than throwing rocks at corpses.
Oh my god, Cuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds! Don't let him, Cuno!
Yo, fuck you, see? Cuno can be what Cuno wants to be. Cuno's his own man. Cuno's free.
He tears at the buttons of his shirt, trying to rip them open. They don't give way.
Cuno made himself into Cuno. Cuno can make himself into anything. Cuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Cuno can make himself into a... Cuno doesn't give a shit.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Cuno! You'll have to take me away!
A leaden silence fills the yard.
So that's what this is about.
Well, that depends on the choices you make, young girl.
Without a word, she disappears entirely behind the fence. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face. You got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
I need you to stop taking locusts from the traps. The cryptozoologists are trying to find something very important. Those locusts are bait.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. C was right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Cuno. She doesn't know whether to be glad because Cuno is finally convinced of the lameness, or more worried because of his continued use of the first-person singular. Cuno is Cuno, not I.
I have to ask, what does the city of locusts mean?
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Cuno just likes to focus. Cuno likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Fuck.
He turns his face up to the heavens.
Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Cuno City. Now it's all fucking lame.
What's going to happen to the locusts?
Cuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die.
Okay, now that's settled. I better be off.
The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
The Indian Phasmid. He mutters to himself.
He recognizes the name.
Wait, you know what the Indian Phasmid is?
Bitches think Cuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here. Cuno's tired of this shit.
There's silence between the two children. They're not saying anything to each other, nor looking in each other's direction.
Hello, officer. I think I almost have it. A new trap design, that is. I know you're skeptical, but I have a good feeling about this.
Did you know Gary was hiding the armor?
Hell no. I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him. He's got his quirks, but dishonesty, disloyalty are not one of them.
I don't know what got into him, officer. Thank you for letting him off easy. He won't forget it. We'll make sure he won't.
I had a chat with that kid, Cuno. He promised to stop stealing the locusts.
So it was just a child.
He purses his lips, crestfallen.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone. A hidden worry. Something is secretly gnawing at her confidence. It's not this Cuno kid, or the missing locusts. It's something else.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe we can.
The aging cryptozoologist breaks into a hideous coughing fit.
He has a 38-degree fever. His resilience has given way.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
That's just something people tell themselves when they fail.
I can do it. Like, I don't really believe in the Phasmid, but, you know, this is a game. Improbable things happen all the time in stories, because it makes for a better story, so I might as well. We've come too far to quit. I'm going to restock the traps. Or maybe I can restore... Damn it, maybe I can still restock the traps for you.
You can? Fine. It's better than having these people get pneumonia on the coast. But after this...
He wants to see this tale through as much as you. Otherwise, he'd have stopped this already. But he cannot let it drag out after this.
Really? It's too much, officer.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery. I'm not talking co-discovery, of course, but...
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Leo said you're friends with Mañana, is that true?
The mention of Mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends.
What is this borscht you're making there? Point to the large pot.
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return.
Mercury rising. Yeah, I'm asking about that.
Borscht need more vodka?
Oh, okay. So they're spicing it with alcohol to make the people more rowdy. He picks up a bottle from the shelf.
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Vodka borscht! I love it, Bratan! Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some yourself!
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, no vodka. Turn your fingers counterclockwise. Cut it.
The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak.
I don't think I need anything else. Yeah, obviously things are tense enough without people getting drunk constantly.
Hey, was there something you needed?
Well, bringing him that new bird sure made a difference in his attitude.
Guard, I need to sing karaoke now.
No, you don't. It's not happening.
He tries not to look at you. It's dangerous to acknowledge the karaoke man. You need to approach this situation logically. Ask him why he has the PA system installed if you can't use it.
Why do you even have a PA system if no one is if no one is ever going to use it?
It's for no one. It's a prop. I'm not letting anyone use it after the great karaoke catastrophe of 44.
He begins confidently but then stumbles over his own words. What happened in 44?
A lot of people got killed because some arsehole wanted to sing karaoke.
It's not a prop, it's for your clients. I know it's used.
Okay, yes, it's for some clients.
I am a real client, I've paid my bills, and I have the right to use the karaoke machine.
Ha! Well, we don't have any tapes. They all got stolen.
It's alright, I have my own with me.
The man in the vest and the violet shirt stares at the tape you've just given him. He begins to frown. Hard.
Fine. Climb on that stage and do your thing. Just get out of my hair. I'll plug it in for you. Damn this karaoke machine.
Oh yeah. Time to do the damage.
Okay, so it's if it's going to be a test, it's probably drama, right?
The stage is all set up for your performance. feels silent. You can hear the pellets creak under your feet.
So, are you ready for your thing now? Let me know when I should turn on the karaoke carousel.
Look around the room first.
There are some people out there, but mostly a post-meridian slumber has fallen on the premise. Not super lively. It would be wiser to perform in the evening, no? But the choice is yours.
Okay, I'll wait for the evening. It's probably going to be funnier by then. Oh. There's something on the tree.
The hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane. Bronze-colored ribbons of magnetic tape are caught in its branches, fluttering in the breeze.
Disentangle the tape. Alright.
With slow and deliberate motions, pulling, bending, and unraveling, you manage to extricate the magnetic tape from the branches. It curls up into a mess inside your pocket. If only you could find a way to re-spool it, so that you could hear what's on the tape. Maybe Roy from the pawn shop can help you with this.
What's the tape for?
The lieutenant looks only at the mess in your hands. Only after you've successfully cleaned up the branches does the curiosity get to him. It's for Egghead. I promised to make his Van Eyck's jam hit harder. Maybe this tape can help.
How? It's broken and unspooled. Do you think your new buddy knows how to fix it?
Well, I think one of the ravers would know how to fix a broken tape if they want to set up a nightclub.
You could also get it fixed at the pawn shop across the street. We shouldn't waste our time.
He looks at his wristwatch impatiently.
Good idea. He might have the tools. The tape projector in the pawn shop uses similar tape.
Good, Hawthorne.
Patting the tree reveals a small sticker which has almost been worn to oblivion. It reads, RCM Emergencies Desk, number 8102. Underneath a slogan, Mankind, be vigilant. The gnarled hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane endures the wintry gusts with ease.
Okay, I'll go to the pawn shop because it's pretty close.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Hey, do you know how to fix this?
You mean re-spool it? Yeah, I do, but...
Great, could you do it please? This is important. I need to be able to play this tape for someone.
But I'm not some Mr. Fix-It. I'm a pawnbroker. If you want to pawn the tape, sure. Although it looks pretty... worthless.
Just explain why you need this so much. He's bound to understand.
Worthless? It's not worthless, Roy. This could be the next big thing for the local dance music scene.
Huh? What do you mean?
Do you know that old church by the coast?
Yes. What about it?
I helped some young ravers turn it into a nightclub, and they play those weird beats there, which they call anodic music.
Is it any good? The music, I mean.
No, that's the thing. You can't believe how unbelievably thin the beat is. There's nothing to it. It has no bass. It just goes bzz, bzz, bzz. The tape could make it hardcore.
Man, you're really invested in this.
He looks at the bundle tape in front of him. It shimmers under the shop's dazzling light show.
Okay, I'll help you out. It's going to take a moment, though, so just sit back and relax.
You take some time to look around the store. The play of visuals all around the pawn shop is mesmerizing. Suddenly, Roy turns back to you with a reel of tape in his hand and coughs.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll do what I can for True Passion Project. Just try not to use this tape for negative photon emissions. Take responsibility. Okay.
The locusts aren't doing all too well, but they're still in there. This isn't the empty trap. That must have been another one.
I do have alcohol for this guy.
Tequila Sunset.
I brought you some booze, but is that going to give him the... is that going to give him... the medicinal spirit? Because I don't want to do that. My tie insists that it's supposedly very important.
Tequila Sunset.
I bought you some booze. Will you tell me another story now?
Of course. Drink first, story later.
I've got some sweet Commodore Red.
Classy.
He snatches the bottle and pushes the cork through the bottleneck.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George, but around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual, a founder/junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane.
How many people did you have working for you?
22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours.
Did the jogging help?
It did. With my trusty Sansarique tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit.
He says thoughtfully, brushing dust off of his shit-stained pants.
One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
He shakes the bottle and makes a ringing sound.
His eyes are your eyes.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see? At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly.
How wet are we talking exactly?
Wet, okay? It was raining really hard.
There's a trace of derision in his voice.
I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed. Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key.
So what happened next?
I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best.
He pauses meaningfully.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh?
There's a black point in the world, a hole. It's already claimed an entire commercial area. Maybe you're another of its victims.
This would explain a lot. I always believed it wasn't my fault that I ended up homeless on the beach with these two bums.
He looks at his partner with a glint of sadness.
God bless them, though. I'd be alone without them. Anyway, that was all the story one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one.
Have you got any more stories?
I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift.
He spins the bottle in his hand. Not a single drop of liquid remains. Okay, I'm not going to give him this, so maybe I'll be back later.
Then I can't keep on telling the stories.
I think this is the only place I haven't been to. The back of this. With regard...
Morel's trap stands empty, just like the boathouses around it. The wind ruffles your sweaty hair.
Release the locusts into the empty trap.
The locusts, dazed from being transported, slowly begin to acclimate to their new surroundings. They're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here.
Good, now that's done. When do you think we will return to our impending apocalypse of a murder investigation? Don't answer that. It was a rhetorical question.
Because I'm still looking for that coalition man. Oh, he is here. Damn it.
As you approach, the man turns and greets you with a polite wave. He appears completely at ease, like a common holidaymaker.
Ah, super. It's the officer. I was not expecting to run into you again, but things have a funny way of turning out, no? What brings you down to the scenic Martinez coast?
I was wondering about what you're doing out here.
Well, that's très simple. I was visiting the fishing village just north of here. They have applied for a series of microloans to revitalize the old market. And well, I wish to see the situation firsthand. And then, well, I had some extra time on my hands, so I decided to stroll down here. It's quite peaceful, isn't it?
You do know there was a mass execution right over there.
Really? Here? How can you be sure?
It's sort of a gift I have. I reconstruct things that happened in the past. High-end detective stuff.
Ah, a very useful gift for a police detective, I'm sure. Fascinating how much history is contained right here. If only one knows where to look for it.
Are you just going to let him get away with these generalities and euphemisms?
You're right. It's so complex and fascinating, I can't even begin to think critically about it. Well, it's not the property damage that offends me, that's stupid. It's obviously the mass execution that offends me.
Well said. Let us just be grateful that we don't live in such fascinating times.
There was something else I wanted to ask you about.
Ah bon? I'm all ears, officer.
I need your help forming a committee. I'm trying to assign responsibility.
My friend, if it's la responsabilité you're after, I have good news for you. There's no need to form such a committee, because it already exists.
God, of course it does. These moral intern types.
The Comité de Responsabilité de Revachol. It acts as a sort of clearinghouse for coalition activities. To put it simply, they are the ultimate arbiters of la responsabilité in this part of the world.
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable authority you're looking for.
I would offer to connect you with the committee myself, but alas, I am not actually in Martinez.
What? Where is he then? You knew there was something strange about this one. He's an astral projection, a bureaucratic phantasm. He's speaking figuratively. He means he's not in Martinez in his official capacity.
I got it, so you're only here on personal business.
Précisément. Officially, I am still in La Delta, preparing for an upcoming conference on fuel oil derivatives. That's why it would be extremely irregular, or potentially even inappropriate for me to intercede with the committee concerning a district I'm not officially in.
How am I supposed to contact the committee then?
Well, under ordinary circumstances, the committee contacts you.
In other words, the committee only knows what it wants to know.
But if you have information of a vital interest, they might be willing to entertain an exception. In which case, I would advise you to contact them via Coalition Warship Archer.
Why do I need to go through Archer to speak to the committee?
You see, in addition to being an airborne artillery platform, Coalition Warship Archer is also the linchpin of the Coalition's surveillance and communications infrastructure in Revachol.
It's watching us too?
And listening. It has the most objective vantage point in the entire city. Not to mention a vast array of radio, photographic, and meteorological monitoring instruments.
Great. All hail our corporate, our corporate surveillance overlords.
I find it a great comfort to know there are benevolent powers watching over all, in strict accordance with the Wayfarer Act and the Bristol-Mune Convention.
The Bristol-Mune Conventions are a series of international agreements governing the treatment of military personnel and civilians in theaters of war, as well as occupied territories. In practice, they are more talked about than observed.
So how does one go about contacting a coalition warship?
This is quite the problem. Very tricky. Of course, the Archer has orders to fire on any unidentified aerostatics that might approach it, so it might be safer to get in touch from the ground. But in that case, you would require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on coalition frequencies. And that kind of technology naturally isn't typically available for non-coalition use. Yes, it is a bit of a conundrum. I suppose there might be some way to circuit bend your way onto those frequencies, but you'd have to be one of those techno-tinkerers to do it.
You know any of those tinkerers?
Unfortunately not, no. I don't have the pleasure. I am merely a representative of the coalition government, not very well versed in technology. But you...
Sounds like something that programmer we met in the church might be able to help with.
Let me just say that I have complete confidence in the RCM. I'm sure you'll figure something out.
Thank you for your time.
Always my pleasure to be of assistance to the RCM. Godspeed, and if we don't meet again, bonne chance.
So, I need to find a radio first, right? Find someone with technical expertise. Or maybe not. Well, I'm going to that church anyway, so might as well talk to her.
Good morning! Yeah! Harder car!
That was the crazy sound we heard before.
Yeah! It was awesome and scary. Very hardcore.
His voice booms through the chamber, then gets silent.
Too hardcore, in fact. I couldn't control it at all.
What happened?
It sucks up all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left. Starts compressing itself and everything around it. Completely fills up the headspace. Extreme.
Is there anything we can do about it?
Oh! I don't know. Maybe someone can do something with this. I imagine this is the sounds that the future could make.
Sounds like a horrible future then.
Can't escape the sound. Can't escape the future.
I found this reel of tape. Maybe you can use it to hard up Ake's jam.
Yeah! Remix time! Tape goes here, into deck B.
His voice booms through the church as he takes the tape and attaches it to the empty reel slot. He clicks a switch, then the tape starts spinning.
A hand on his ear. He listens to the audio through his headphones and shouts.
Wow! Did you get this from Arno himself?
A great excitement is bubbling to the surface within him. This is big.
I actually found it tangled up in a Hawthorne 3.
Listen, I'm just going to show it to you. Ready?
Ready.
Now, if only we had the beat for the full assault, it would be unbelievably hyper.
What is this? It's good. How did you guys do that?
Do what? I just found a random tape and brought it to Egghead. He's just incredibly good at remixing.
Yes, but what if Van Eyck based his remix on some forgotten local melody, like a folk song, and you just found the original piece that inspired him to create this jam? That would explain why it fits so well.
Nah, to me it sounds like classic Van Eyck. I don't think he needs any inspiration from folk songs. Maybe he lives in Martinez and just threw away part of his song because he thought it wasn't good enough.
I think it's just happenstance. Chaos in action. Contingencies of our limited existence. That and Egghead's fantastic talent.
Noid's right. Egghead's technical talent is the key. No, this is definitely part of the same song. Something cut from it. It fits too well. Something mysterious is going on here.
Well, my logic seems to claim that Assel's right. Van Eyck must live around here. It's definitely his creation.
Be how it may, if it fits, it fits. Bring up the volume.
He pumps his fist into the air.
What about the bass? Do you have any ideas for that?
Andrea looks back at you.
Yeah, I remember. You said it needs more bass.
What if you used the crazy sound assault from Soona's experiment, but contained it, tamed it? Made it a pulse. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's good enough the way it is. Adding that melody had already been a massive improvement. It's pretty hardcore right now.
Hardcore! Not exactly the hyper that I was hoping for, but it's definitely ultra!
I think you did an amazing job here, Detective. I would have never thought that Van Eyck could be improved on. But you did it. You made it even better than before. Yeah, plus it's good to know your limits.
No limits on the dance floor!
Yes, what is it?
It's not a paying job, but could you help me contact Coalition Warship Archer?
You're asking me to circuit bend onto coalition radio frequencies. You want to know is it possible? Probably. But is it a good idea? I'm not so sure. The main difficulty will be finding an antenna powerful enough to reach those frequencies. Unfortunately, you can't exactly buy mega long-wave antennas off the shelf.
She's not joking. Even the RCM has to receive special approval from the Coalition to access that kind of equipment.
The radio relay tower at Land's End, could that work?
I highly doubt it. That tower is barely able to transmit shortwave signals across the bay. To generate megalo frequencies, we're going to need a much larger antenna.
She has an idea, though. You can see the tiny signal lights firing inside her brain.
I don't see any alternative. We're just going to have to build the antenna ourselves.
Why don't we just use your AR-1?
Because it's a completely different class of antenna. It would be like using a high-end racing carriage where a long-distance lorry is required. We need metal, a lot of it. The taller the structure, the better. Something that is both prominent and easily accessible. If it's near a power source, even better.
Come up with a site. It's a white check. This is a white check. Okay, so I'll just... Do I have anything that ups my conceptualization? Not really, no.
Yes, what is it?
Come up with a site for the mega long-wave radio antenna.
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags.
Turn to face the roundabout.
You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow, and a great shadow materializes before you. A towering beast, frozen in mid-air.
The statue of Philippa III.
The dead king and his horse. It could work.
It may work, you think, but why do you feel like there may be a terrible cost?
We'll need an adequate power supply and a great quantity of cable. If we connect the cables to some of the stranded lorries, we could theoretically increase the antenna's wavelength exponentially.
Whatever ambivalence she had about your project before, she's now fully engaged in solving this technical puzzle.
So you're saying...
Quiet. I'm doing maths. Yes, assuming we can find just a few pieces of equipment. It's completely ridiculous, but I believe we could transform the entire roundabout into one solid fractal antenna.
A note of awe in her voice. She's shocked and pleased by her own audacity.
Are you sure that's illegal? I feel like I'm going to need to apologize to someone.
If you would like to apologize, that is your business. I'm only here to tell you what's feasible or not from a technical viewpoint. I have plenty of cables and amplifiers on hand. The power supply, I will secure on my own. All we require now is the radio transceiver itself.
Where am I supposed to find a radio transceiver?
I cannot answer that for you, but I don't expect it to be that difficult. There's no shortage of radios around here. If you have real to spare, you might even be able to buy one. But it doesn't really matter where it comes from, so long as it works.
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from Machinima.
You know what, Kim? I'll find an even better radio on my own.
I highly doubt that. When I crank the volume on my dyno wave, it's like you're in the front row at the National Concert Hall.
Alright, Kim, challenge accepted.
There is no need to go out of your way to find a top-shelf radio for this purpose. As long as it's functional, that is what counts.
Can't we just use your RAM prefect?
Absolutely not. My RAIN prefect is my livelihood. If something were to go wrong, it would be a disaster.
Do radio computers have transceivers in them?
Certainly, though it requires a fair amount of technical finesse to remove them. Frankly, it's not worth the bother.
Do you
Just find a regular radio.
Do you think the pawn shop will have one?
Possibly. It's worth a look at the least.
I think I saw a radio in that office near the harbor.
That sounds like a perfectly adequate radio.
Alright, I guess I need to find one of the transceivers then.
In the meantime, I will gather the rest of the materials. We will meet back here when you have it.
Okay, I will try to buy it before I try to steal it. Because obviously I feel pretty bad about stealing something. Do I want to replace any of my thoughts? Let's take a look at what those give me. This is pretty cool because I've already used the apt perception. Although, is it? I have a lot of bonuses to perception from other things. So, to be honest, I might forget that as well. Pain threshold. Being a sorry cop is far too essential to being me to forget. Pain threshold. All psyche learning gaps raised by 1. Yeah, I guess I can forget this. And I'll think a little bit about Arno van Eyck. The question won't leave you. Why did the melody line from a broken and discarded tape fit so perfectly into a song played by some speed freaks in a frozen tent? Can it be a coincidence? Maybe it's the hand of the man-machine himself in his attempt to craft a perfect song. Maybe Egghead is actually Arno van Eyck in disguise. Egg. Okay, I'll put a point into rhetorics for later, because I think I might need it in the end game. Maybe... No, don't do that. Revert that. How do I... Level it up once. And I'll keep the other points for now. Report to Lena in the whirling. Okay.
Hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
I'm looking for a radio transceiver. You got anything?
A transceiver, is it? Yeah, we should have something to do the trick.
He produces a machine encased in a blue Bakelite shell. Its black face covered in an assortment of pearl-topped knobs and dials. The lieutenant whistles a long, quivering note.
A genuine crystal sprach. This is a connoisseur's model, good for picking up foreign milieus.
The Model 9 also comes equipped with a signal purifier to suppress crosstalk. Especially good around here with our funky reception.
In other words, it will put even the lieutenant's beloved Dynawave to shame.
Sounds expensive.
Well, it's not that Il Moran surplus junk, that's for sure. We think 120 real is more than reasonable.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You'll be back again. I've got a feeling.
Okay, so I unfortunately have to steal a radio. Although, maybe I don't have to steal the radio from the harbor, because I I seem to remember the drug dealer's lorry might have a radio as well, and obviously I would feel slightly less shit about that because she is suspected to have taken part in a murder recently.
A lorry abandoned by its owner. The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. It takes a few moments, but eventually the transceiver slides from its greased socket mount with an eminently satisfying chin. As you take the transceiver in your hands, the lieutenant bites his lower lip, apparently deep in thought.
Funny, isn't it?
What do you mean?
The lady driver used this same radio to evade coalition authorities, and now you are using it to contact them directly. It's just ironic.
Where the radio used to be, there's just a rectangular shadow now. It's about the size of a small box of pasta, but much heavier. Now that you're looking at it more closely, you realize the various dials and meters make it look vaguely like a face. A distinctive triangular logo forms the nose. That's the mark of Estaz Electronica, one of the major manufacturers of advanced radio equipment.
This has got to be better than your Dynawave.
An Esteras is certainly nothing to sniff at. But if you compare the feature sets, I would say they are more or less equivalent.
Fine, it appears we've reached a draw.
So it would appear.
Do you think we'll actually be able to reach the coalition with this?
You've surprised me more than once during the course of our investigation. But I have to say, it still seems like a remote scenario.
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. Close the rusty old lorry door.
Okay, this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!